you've spoken about Modi. Let's for a moment speak about Arvind Kejriwal. He is the man who's dominated a lot of the mind space over the last several weeks. He's got very aggressive national expansion plans. What impact are they having in this Seawater India Today group opinion poll? Yes, Mr. Iyer, you're preempting our numbers. Let's put them out for our viewers first. Here is Arvind Kejriwal and the impact his party is having in Uttar Pradesh. They're expected to pick up a vote share of 6%. They are likely, according to Seawater, to pick up only one seat, that is in the NCR region. Beyond that, in the hinterland Shazia Ilmi, there is almost negligible presence of the Aam Aadmi Party when we look at the vote share for Kejriwal and AAP. So, you've dominated a lot of the media space, but as Manishankar Iyer says, in the adjoining state of Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party, in the hinterlands especially, outside the NCR, is missing in action. Shazia.
Rahul, this is what your survey says. Yes, this is what your survey says. But the kind of feedback we get and the response we're getting from Uttar Pradesh, from Haryana, from Madhya Pradesh and Orissa is overwhelming. And even the recall of a party as new as ours is huge, is almost 60%. But this is on an all India level. And there are some states where we seem to have a sizable presence, at least in the mind, so to speak, to start with. But the numbers we have in mind for UP are definitely much better than that.
Sure, but there's a difference. So that's not saying, are you drawing relief from these numbers? They might be present in the mind, but they're not necessarily going to be present in the electronic voting machines. So when those buttons are pressed, as far as these respondents are concerned, a 6% vote share, a solitary seat, is that relief because a spectre has been built, especially by the Congress, that there is a possibility that Kejriwal could halt Modi's march? These numbers reflect that's not happening, Siddharth.
Well, Rahul, let me say from what I have experienced at the ground, on the ground in Uttar Pradesh, Aam Aadmi has been spoken at certain urban areas, but particularly after what the dharna they did in front of the Rail Bhavan before 26th January, that has actually taken the sheen away if there was anything which was existing in little urban areas of Uttar Pradesh. But Shazia is welcome to speculate, but the reality is there is a negativity towards Congress which is showing in your survey. Those who have always supported Congress to stay in power at the center, they all are also falling, they are losing votes, and that is also your survey is showing. The party which is gaining in Uttar Pradesh is definitely BJP, and I personally feel the way the trend is moving, we will be moving much more than what has been projected. But anyway, we are talking about the survey of what you have
Sure, but Shiv Vishwanathan, given the mind space that the Aam Aadmi Party has occupied, all the claims that they've made, I did see the baat with Prashant Bhushan. He said, who knows, we could even end up with 300 seats. That's the sort of buzz that we are seeing. And indeed, the response, especially after the Delhi election results came out, was overwhelming. But that's not translating now when these figures come out into any sort of serious substantive vote share for the Aam Aadmi Party. How much do you link this with the dharna? Because remember, and what Siddharth is saying is partially incorrect, because the polling happened between the 2nd of January and the 30th. So only a few days after the dharna are kept in mind in this opinion poll. Most of it is done before that. In the hinterlands, the Aam Aadmi Party is still not able to penetrate. Shiv Vishwanathan.
See, I don't think the kind of politics they are creating can penetrate the hinterland so quickly.
Why not?
I think to a certain extent, we have to understand that what we are facing here is an Aam Aadmi wish list. It's not a voting share. For that, they have to look at the logic of politics. BSP, SP, BJP are very rooted parties. I think the Aam Aadmi is a floating idea, and a floating idea can just be a balloon that's pierced very quickly. I think one has to be candid about it. Aam Aadmi Party's entry of UP would at the most be around the peripheries of the national capital region.
Okay, Manishankar Iyer. You know, there are several people in the Congress who privately have been hoping and praying that Kejriwal will somehow slow Modi's juggernaut.
I have not been doing it privately, I've been doing it publicly.
Yes,
and,
that's the difference between you and the other congressmen.
I'm therefore very disappointed that Shazia is not going to make up for her loss in Ramakrishnapuram by winning in Uttar Pradesh. I really give her the wish of all
there's
the
a buzz, Shazia, this afternoon that you will be fighting against Sonia Gandhi. So if you've got some breaking news, why don't you give it to us right here, right now? Is that story true? Are you going to be taking on Mrs. Gandhi?
No, I'm afraid. I'm afraid there is no breaking news at this point of time at all, and lots of people are speculating about a lot of names, and mine is one of them, and I haven't decided my...
Let me ask you a direct question then. If the Aam Aadmi Party were to ask Shazia Ilmi to take on Sonia Gandhi, would Shazia Ilmi say yes or no?
There's no sound coming.
No, I will say a maybe.
What's a maybe?
So if given a choice, would you like to take on Sonia Gandhi or Narendra Modi if he contests from UP?
Well, I think both of them need to be taken on because I think...
So if you want to take them on, why this hesitant maybe, Shazia?
And Narendra Modi.
If you think you can take her on, say I will take her on, like you've got...
Kumar Vishwas and emphatic. It's a very clear yes, it's a very clear and a very emphatic maybe, because there are lots of other considerations. I'm actually working very seriously on the organization,
Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi.
Many other
possibly this is something that
but let me go back to what Siddharth now said.
Go on, Shazia, make your point.
Yeah, you know, this dharna having taken away the sheen, yes, a lot of members of the intelligentsia and, you know, the chattering classes might have a problem with, huge problem with what Arvind did. But for the first time, I mean, the visual has changed, the grammar has changed. A chief minister has gone out there, sought police accountability, just like any other individual does or protester does, and that itself is welcome, and a lot of people have actually liked and the popularity of Arvind has actually gone up in certain classes.
In some senses that is true, that while in urban pockets